Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of New York Giants football talk. Uh, Kenny K here, and I'm here with my usual co-host, Mr. Paul Rosen. How we doing, Paul?
Good to be here, Kenny. It's been, like you said, a roller coaster day and in Giants land, and so let's get started.
Yeah, free agency started today, and you and I just got done with our debut show, New York, New York. I think we did a very fun little show with the audience and all. But now, our other show, New York Giants Football Talk, special day, free agency started. So let's get right into it. We're going to stick with you guys for about 15, 20 minutes. Uh, roller coaster of a ride. Here's Kurt saying show number 2. Yes, Kurt.
Yes,
This
sir.
one's going to be a short one because usually we're not in the news, but I'm telling you, there was a lot of news today. So again, Paul, roller coaster of a ride. Joe Shane uh, had to make some moves, and the way it started, like this roller coaster right here, it went downhill, Paul, because
Mm.
this guy right here, Mr. Saquan Barkley, Paul, is now a Philadelphia Eagle. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, every guy has or should have the opportunity to make as much money as possible. All right. I never ever said somebody shouldn't be allowed to make as much money if they have a short career. 32 teams in the league, 31 teams had an opportunity to take this guy. And who does he go to? Probably our most bitter rival. And it just annoyed me that the Giants didn't make an offer. He walked out. He wanted to stay a Giant. And the fact that they heard what he wanted to do, had the ability to pay him. But listen, the Eagles paid him probably the most money. I think it was the second most average salary for a running back in NFL history. It just annoys the hell out of me that um, certain Eagle fans are now acting as if the Saquon is, the Barry Sanders of the NFL. And some of these douchey fans who listen are just so annoying because now he's going down the turnpike and we're going to have to deal with him for the next 3 years, twice a year. I've had mixed feelings about this, especially when they were saying he might go to Philadelphia. One thing I love about ex Giants, guys like Tiki and Michael Strahan and Carl Banks and LT, they all hate the Eagles. There's no question they hate the Eagles. And I know Tiki came out today and said Saquon's dead to him. And I understand that. I really, really do. And it just bothers me that out of all the teams that he could have went to, and I think I read the Bears, the Texans, and the Eagles were the last three. If he had gone to Texans or to the Bears, okay. But to go to our rival, it's just like a dagger into the heart. And that's what hurts the most.
I looked at it two ways, Paul, and I looked at it your way as well. And it does hurt because he is and was a giant, but I'm looking at it the other way now that the roller coaster went the other way for us. And the reason why I'm looking at it the other way is uh, the Giants didn't even make him an offer, Paul.
I know.
So why not stick it to the Giants? You never did anything for me. And in the Giants' way of looking at things, unfortunately, it's a business. And the business part of it is these guys also have big egos. Barkley was a Gettleman guy. Jones is the next one out. Once those two are gone, Barkley's gone now. Jones is next. Now it's all Shane's people, Dable's
Hmm.
people. There's no more stars left from Gettleman's days. They're all gone. Andrew Thomas is be the only one. So they want to bring in their own people. I get why Barkley, the relationship was not there, and I think Barkley was trying in the nicest way to try and, come back as a Giant, but the Giants didn't want him back. So, you know what? He probably has family close in Pennsylvania. He went to Penn State. He probably has a house nearby. He doesn't have to put all that stuff. These are the things we don't look at. Move to another side of the country, away from your family. Maybe he didn't want to do that. Oh, I get why it was done. Am I pissed that it was done? Of course, but I get it was done.
Oh, yeah.
No other team close to Philadelphia or New York that gave him an offer. It was either Chicago or Houston. Does he want to go to those two cities if his family's closer to here? So maybe that's why it was done. We won't know, but we'll see. And the Eagles are invested in this now because that's a lot of money for a running back. $37 million for 3 years, almost $14 million a year he's getting. A lot of money. Better get results now than later because you're going to be in salary cap hell soon if not.
Quite honestly, I don't really care what they do. It's not my problem. It's not your problem. It's the Eagles' problem. So if they don't do anything the next 3 years, that's not our problem. Our problem is right here in East Rutherford and what's going to happen with the Giants. So quite honestly,
Absolutely.
I don't really care.
Anyway, so we did some moves today. So let's talk about our guys, Paul.
Yeah.
That Joe Shane did. In the first one that was announced today, and ironically, it's John Runyon Jr.
Yeah, I
and
know.
His dad was a big offensive lineman for the Eagles. So if there's any laughter we could get out of this, we get John Runyon Jr. 3 years, $30 million, guard out of from the Packers. I think it's a solid move. I think a move that could work. We needed offensive line help. Played on the Packers. They had a great offensive line. Bakhtiari, Runyon as a guard. I think it's an upgrade from Glowinski and Bredesen. So I'll give this, if I was to grade this move, I'll give this grade a B minus. Maybe there could have been better. Maybe you could have went with Hunt or Jonah Williams or not Jonah Williams, Hunt or Ewanu from Patriots, but they went this route, and the pedigree's there. His dad played in the NFL, so I'm a pedigree guy. So I'll give this grade a B minus with a chance to become a B plus.
Yeah, agree. Excellent player. For the Giants' needs, they needed to upgrade the guard position. He can play left guard or right guard. So let's see where they feel is the best place for him to be, and hopefully that solidifies one of the guard positions at least.
Right, and don't forget we got a new offensive line coach too. So he comes in and he doesn't necessarily. It's going to be an open. I think it's going to be an open competition. So it's not going to be Runyon's going to be behind the incumbent. He's going to be the starter from day one if he performs well.
Hey, Kenny, I hate to say this. My phone, I have to charge my phone. I apologize right in the middle of this. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And I'll go to the next one in the meantime. Our next signee today was our Saquon Barkley replacement, everybody. And the Giants are getting Devin Singletary on a 3-year, $15.6 million contract. I say the replacement from Barkley, but I think it's going to be Mr. Singletary and a rookie. I think we will draft a rookie in the draft because I don't think you just go in with Singletary and Eric Gray. I think the Giants will address running back in the draft. But with the getting out of Devin Singletary, they're getting a guy Brian Daboll knows very well. Brian Daboll coached him in Buffalo, and he was the starting running back in Buffalo with Zach Moss. So get a very familiar face in, and he's the replacement for Barkley on a third of what Saquon Barkley would cost. And ironically, it would cost.
Damn it!
You're there, Paul. If you can hear me, and Paul's not there. So Devin Singletary, guys, we got him on a 3-year deal, 15.6. I think it's a strong move by the Giants, and I think he will fit well in New York and draft a rookie. And you got a 1-2 punch that the Giants are used to having with Tiki Barber and Brandon Jacobs, and so get back to that type of backfield, and I think it'll be successful in the long run. May have lost Paul, so I'll go through a couple of these other ones real quick. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to do it the best I can. Right tackle from Las Vegas, Jermaine Elomunner, on a 2-year, $14 million deal. Our offensive line coach, Basucci, hyped him up. He had a very solid year. I think he could be in, like I said, new offensive line coach, going to be in competition with Evan Neal, puts pressure on Evan Neal now to perform, or you're going to be on the bench or moved over to guard. And this will be our right tackle going forward. So, by the way, on the Singletary deal, I'm going to give it another B-. I think it's a solid deal. Behind a good offensive line, he can get 1,000 yards rushing. So I'll give it a B-, again, with a chance to be a B+. This one I like. This is a low-risk, high-reward move. Your offensive line coach is bringing a player over that he knows well. I'm going to give this one an A-. And this one could be the home run pick and be our right tackle of the future here. So nice, solid move. And then our big move of the day, late this evening, early evening, breaking news: the Giants traded for elite pass rusher Brian Burns. Brian Burns comes over in a historic 3-year, a 5-year, $150 million contract, $30 million a year. What we're getting out of Brian Burns is 10 plus sacks a year. Opposite Kayvon Thibodeau, our new defensive coordinator, came out and said what he preaches is getting to the quarterback with his front four. And this guy's an elite pass rusher, and you got Thibodeau on the other side, Dexter Lawrence in the middle. This is going to be a solid A, straight A. All we gave up was a second and a fifth. We're paying him, and it's well worth it. Captain of the Panthers coming over to the Giants. Solid move. Going to be a captain for us. Michael Von Kiel saying good evening. What's up, my friend Michael? Michael's a big Bronco fan. Paul, it's okay. Don't be back. Don't worry, Paul. I'm going to wrap it up. Just your thoughts on Brian Burns. I'm on Brian Burns already, so I'm just going to wrap it up, Paul, and I'll give you a buzz when the show's over. But yes, so those are our moves. Again, roller coaster of a day. I'm going to go back to the beginning. There was some ups, and there were definitely some downs. And the way it started, Joe Shane, I thought, I said, I preached this: have faith in Joe Shane and Brian Dable. They're going to get this job done. Get them and left them a mess. He's straightening up that mess. And the first move of the day was the roller coaster down, and it was Saquon going to the Eagles. It'll be tough to swallow as a Giants fan, 100%. But on the business side of it, I get why it was done. Barkley's getting close to $14 million a year. He stays close to home, and the Giants didn't even offer him a deal. So I get it. No worries there. I understand the move, why it was done. Giants got who they needed to replace Barkley. Giants got defensive help. Let's go and get the job done now. On a smaller move, which actually is one of the bigger underrated moves, John Runyon Jr. comes over. There's Paul, you back? John Runyon Jr. comes over in a 3-year deal, $30 million. Going to be an interior lineman. I think he'll be fine there. Pedigree, John Runyon Sr., the Eagle offensive tackle for many years. So little payback there from the Giants and getting John Runyon Jr. Then our last two moves were Devin Singletary, replacement for Saquon, and I think you're going to bring over a rookie, whether it be Estime or Paul's boy Estime from Notre Dame. It could be Blake Corum, Michigan. Could be somebody like a Will Shipley. There's going to be a running back coming to New York, and it's going to be Dable and Shane's guy. Are you there, Paul?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I was just doing some final thoughts. Why don't you give me your thoughts on? Did you do Devin Singletary, or we didn't do things? You didn't get to Devin Singletary.
No, we didn't get to him. Listen,
You just give me your thoughts on these guys real quick because I did
yeah,
already, and then we'll wrap the show up.
yeah. To pivot away from Saquon and then to sign a guy that played with Dable for a few years up in Buffalo, very productive running back. Uh, Obviously, won't be a 3-down back, but like you just said, they'll bring in a rookie from hopefully a good program, and they'll use him and the rookie in a combination. And Singletary has proved he's a good player in the NFL, so I think there was a great pickup.
Absolutely, and I gave the pickup a B minus, but closer to a B. You lose Saquon, so unless you're bringing in Christian McCaffrey, that's not gonna be an A. So
Exactly.
so B minus for me with just solid. And I think he's going to be a solid player. Dable, he knows Dable's system, so I think that's going to be a good move for them. And why don't you give us a little thoughts on this guy, Jermaine Elohmuner? I know you mentioned him earlier off the air with me, so I'll let you get a couple seconds on him, and then we'll do our last guy with you.
Yeah. What's interesting is the Giants brought in, and you may have mentioned it, Carmen Basilio as the offensive line coach. And this kid played with him and got coached up by Carmen in Las Vegas. And the good thing about it is this player is very versatile. He can play tackle, he can play guard. So under the circumstances with however Evan Neal is going to play and what they see Evan Neal can do, maybe they'll have Evan Neal shift inside to guard and use him at tackle or vice versa. So you have a solid pickup in not just him, but also Runyon, but a guy that can support Evan Neal on that right side and hopefully solidify the line once and for all.
Absolutely. And then, and you know what I said earlier, Paul, I said our offensive line coach, it's going to be an open competition with these guys now. So Evan Neal needs to produce or this guy's going to take the starting job from him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And give us your thoughts on this break-in trade that we made, Paul. Brian Burns, I told our audience how I felt. 5 years, 150. We got our edge rusher opposite of Thibodeau now. So give us your thoughts on him.
Yeah, that came out of left field, as you indicated, the roller coaster of today's events, and the fact that the Giants were able to get one of the best free agents who are out there, and Carolina had put him on the, I guess, transitional tag, but they could not get a deal done with him. So for the Giants to swoop in and get this kid who has been unbelievably productive in the time that he's been in the NFL is in my opinion, a no-brainer. Excuse me. We needed that other pass rusher from the other side. Kayvon has come on last year, and with this kid now on the other side, we thought Azeez Ojulari was going to be that player. He can't stay on the field. And, I've always said the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, you don't do the team any good. So this kid has not missed many games in his career. To get him for a couple of draft picks is phenomenal. And in my opinion, it was a A. I would give this trade an A by Shane. And I can't see anything going bad with this deal.
Yeah, likewise, Paul. So I think overall, our roller coaster for ride really started as an F, and it went up to a C plus B minus for the day. I think maybe even a B. Brian Burns really made me happy, because us Giant fans, we know defense. We want defense. That's the name of our game, and then whatever you get on offense is a bonus. So I'm happy. Now we got bookend edge rushers now, man.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about it. And
yeah.
I'm excited to see what these next couple of years can do and build this defensive front, which our D coordinator preaches. Get to the passer. He wants to get to the quarterback with his front four. He doesn't want to use his back end like Wink used to do. So it's a totally different scheme that we're going to see on defense.
And
I can't
the
wait
other
to see it.
And the other thing is you have Dexter in the middle. So you have Dexter in the middle. You have these two guys on the outside. That hopefully is going to put up enough pressure to get to the quarterback, force some turnovers, and have the Giants defense play like you and I have seen over the years when the Giants were successful. So, great pickup. Excellent work by Joe Shane late in the day, and hopefully this continues.
Absolutely. Want to give some closing thoughts, Paul, and we'll say goodnight to everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
mean,
Mr. Michael Ronquillo saying hello to you, Paul. I forgot to
oh,
mention that.
hey, Michael. Yeah, I mean, free agency is a listen. It's a buyer's market. We've seen how many players have gotten picked off. I mean, we didn't even mention Xavier McKinney is now signed by the Packers, but uh, we lost a couple of key veteran leaders. But with the players that we brought in, hopefully they will solidify, especially one of our biggest weaknesses, the offensive line. We brought in a veteran running back who has played with Dable under his system, and now with a defensive player like Brian Burns, a guy that certainly has proven he can rush the passer, which was something that we needed. So overall, a little subtraction, but hopefully a lot of addition.
Yep, and the draft's coming up, so I think we're going to address some needs in the draft. So I want to thank everybody for watching us on all our platforms: Facebook, YouTube, X, Kick, Twitch. Any I missed, I apologize. I want to thank Kurt, Michael, and everybody else for hanging out with us. Little short, unexpected New York Giants football talk tonight. Want to wish everybody a happy week. We'll see everybody Wednesday for the K&K Sports Show original, and hope everybody has a good night.